Hey, what's going on? This is Will with Geek Revolution Radio. Just here doing a little video review of The Revenant. Figured we'd kind of, instead of doing a whole episode or dedicating time to that, we'd start doing little videos like this. So here's the very first one. And I'm excited to talk about The Revenant. A lot of people are talking about it right now. And I have to say, just generally, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was phenomenal. I didn't think it was bad. The things I really liked about it, things I didn't like about it. But I thought I'd give you a little breakdown, let you know whether or not it's worth your time. I think that's always important, at least for me in my life. Time is very important, so I don't like to waste it on bad movies. But I would say that this movie is worth watching. I think it holds value seeing it in the theater just because of its cinematography. It's very, very beautiful. There are a lot of captivating, awesome, just wide shot views of nature, of the environment. And there's some really cool action sequences that are all in one take that I really liked. So I definitely think those are better captured or seen, I would say, on the big screen. Whereas if you see it at home, you're not going to get the full effect. But it's still pretty good. I wouldn't not see it based on that factor. But overall, I liked it. Tom Hardy plays a really good kind of semi-villain. I wouldn't call him the full-out villain, but he's definitely not the good guy. Um, Leonardo DiCaprio is phenomenal in this. He does a really good job. And I'll talk a little bit about Oscars and what his chances are and what the whole debate is there when I wrap this thing up. But I figure I'd go more into the dislikes right away. Or I talked a little bit about my likes. Now it's time to go to the dislikes. It's a bit long. It's 2.5 hours long, and there are a lot of scenes, a lot of moments where it's just dragging out. It's kind of slow. It goes from a really fast-paced thing to really slow nature shots. Like you're seeing, like I remember one time, like just stuck out of my mind. I remember seeing like the moon behind a cloudy sky for like 6 to 10 seconds, and I feel like you could probably cut out about all of those, and the movie would be about 30 minutes less, and the action probably would have been just the same. But again, it's a very cinematic movie. It's very beautiful. Nothing, you know. I don't know. Like I don't think that's the biggest deterrent. Like I think my other issue is I left the theater angry or just in a bad mood, and it's kind of a downer. The movie's it's not like it's not happy. Uh, you're satisfied in certain avenues, but in the end, it's kind of sad. It's kind of depressing. It's not like with these cliffhanger. There's no good satisfying ending. It has a decent and well written story from beginning to end, but uh, it's just not happy, which is fine. Not all movies have to be happy, but um, I don't know. I was left in a bad mood, and it's maybe because I was also tired. All those scenes I was talking about, like the long drawn out ones. But I don't know. It's not the biggest knock for the movie. I think sometimes maybe that's what the filmmakers are trying to go for, is to make you have a emotional reaction to the film, and it definitely happened on this film. Yeah, again, Leo nailed it. He was really phenomenal. Tom Hardy was awesome. He's like that kind of villainous character that you like. Like you can't help but like. He's dirty. He's just shady, but he's so well acted in that film. The character is that you're just like, oh, I like this guy. So going back to Leo and his chances for Oscar, a lot of people are talking about Oscars, and I couldn't say, like, watching this movie, if I'm gonna come out and say, oh, he nailed it. This is his year. This is his thing, and because I feel like there's so many movies that he's done that were phenomenal. I mean, Departed is probably one of my favorites of his. The Wolf of Wall Street's another that I like. He wasn't even nominated for Departed, so there are snubs, and I think this is his first real contention or contender for an Oscar. But the reality is he's up against some stiff competition. Eddie Redmayne, however you say that, he's I think a good competition for this with the Danish Girl, and I say that now I haven't seen the Danish Girl. I kind of want to see it, but it's one of those social equality type. Let's make a social decision in selecting somebody for an Oscar versus based on their performance. A lot of times Oscars are political. Whether the selection people, the judges, would admit it, I feel like they've made political decisions. And this year, with no African American nominations or anything like that, I feel like there might be pressure for them to make, not the typical white man selection. Not that I honestly, I'm part of that party that feels, there have been some really good performances like Beast of No Nation with Idris Elba. I always struggle saying his name. It's very, very captivating, amazing performance. There's been a couple others that I've heard thrown around, but yeah. So I think the other competition that he really has for the Oscar, Leo, that is The Martian. I think it's the more popular movie. I think a lot of people saw it. It's kind of the sort of blockbuster. I mean, I wouldn't call it San Andreas from this last year. I wouldn't call it one of those big blockbuster attempts. It's definitely not one of the Marvel movies. It's definitely a very well written or well put together story. And Matt Damon is awesome in it. I felt like he knocked it out of the park with that one, and I would be surprised to see between those three. I think it's going to go to those three. The other two nominated for the best actor are Bryan Cranston, who I love. Breaking Bad is phenomenal. I haven't seen his movie Trumbo, but I don't know how well it holds up against the others. And then Michael Fassbender, he's been nominated for Steve Jobs. So, I mean, he's got some competition there. There's like really good talent. I'll put it that way. I mean, Bryan Cranston is phenomenal, and I think he's, probably my favorite on the list if I had to say. But I don't know. Leo's chances might not be that great. So, in conclusion, I'd say go see it. Go check it out. Go watch The Revenant. It's definitely worth seeing. Yeah. So enjoy.